Hi guys, we hope you're having a wonderful week. We hope that you're learning to adjust to our new schedules. If you are not familiar with my husband and I'm Jennifer.
I'm Jason.
And we are the Children's Ministry Directors for ZUM. If we haven't seen you there before, we hope we'll see you soon. And if we have, guys, know that we miss you. It's been rough not seeing you, but we know that the next time we get together, it's going to be really special. So this week's been a little different, right? Things are happening that we're not familiar with. Schedules are changing. Your parents' schedules may be changing. School schedule has definitely changed. But I want you guys to remember something. What have we been talking about for the last month or so? Do you know, Jason?
The fruit of the Spirit.
We have the fruit of the Spirit. Those are things that we just talk about sometimes in Sunday school and, we discuss, but right now it's happening. We're seeing in such an uncertain time, we're seeing people exercise those fruits that God has planted within them, just like He's planted them within you. So let's first talk about what are the fruits that God has planted within us. Jason?
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Haha, good job. If any of you remember the song we sang a couple of weeks ago, it might be stuck in your mind. It is in mine. And I'm pretty sure it is in Jason's. I want to share with you a story of kindness. It's been a time where we've really had to rely on faith, and we have to trust that all of this is in God's hands. He has a plan. He's lifting us all up right now. So what we need to do is we need to live in the way that He has instilled in us. We need to exercise our Christ-like selves. And I saw this wonderful story of kindness, this display of kindness when I was at the grocery store. Maybe some of you have heard your parents talk about, or your friends talk about having difficulty getting toilet paper because it's running out everywhere. Kind of silly, but it's happening. And that's happening with a lot of things, because when people get scared, sometimes our first instinct is really to protect ourselves. That's kind of normal. But I went to the grocery store because I needed eggs and I needed milk. That's all I needed. And bread was running low. But the workers at the store, they were replacing the bread. But what I saw next was something that just amazed me. I had seen on TV these stories of people just panicking and getting angry at one another. And I think sometimes that's really easy to do. But there was this gentleman and his son who were waiting in line to get bread. And it was going just as fast as the employee could put it on the shelf. This gentleman and his son, instead of grabbing bread, throwing it in their carts and going, they were helping the employee of the grocery store by passing it out to the people who were waiting in line so they didn't crowd him. And they were trying to show everyone around them that they weren't panicked and it was okay because everybody was going to get what they needed. They were thinking of others before they thought of themselves. And I can say that in the last week, maybe even last 2 weeks, I've seen more kindness in this world and locally than I've seen in probably a while, maybe a year or two. So that's something that's positive. But you need to remember, you have that same seed of kindness inside of you. God has planted it for you, but you have to call on it and you have to use it, and you all can. And I think Jason had an example from this last week that maybe he would like to share of another fruit of the Spirit.
Yes, so one thing that we all know is our schedules are changing, and it's hard to adapt to change because it's new and it's scary sometimes. So one thing that I've seen, especially with our two boys, is patience. Patience with dealing with schoolwork coming in a different form and having to be able to navigate through things that they don't normally navigate through to get the stuff done that's required. So one thing I've seen both of my boys do, and I'm sure you have as well, is to have those patience to sit back, take a breath, and understand that you're going to get through the work. It's just going to take a little while because it's different. So patience is something definitely I've seen a lot of people call within themselves to be able to handle the way that our lives have changed now.
And I can agree with that. For any of you that I have in Sunday school and that we see every week, you know that sometimes I have to work really hard to call on my patience. Jason typically doesn't, but sometimes I do. And this has been an adjustment for me too. And if it's an adjustment for adults, we know that it's a big adjustment for you guys. And we just have to wait and trust and be patient with his plan. And part of being patient, something that's going to go hand in hand, is our self-control. We can control our actions. We can call on our patience. We can pray for God to surround us, to lift us up, to give us the strength and the courage to find our patience, because sometimes that's what we need. But then we can use that, and we can use that seed within us with our self-control. Because if you can be an example to someone else by controlling the way that you are behaving, and if you can foster kindness for someone else, show joy in the things right now that we do get to experience. It's hard because maybe we don't get to go to school, but maybe mom or dad are home a little bit more. Maybe it's a chance to play board games when before it was hard to get everybody to sit together and play a board game. It's a time to put the busyness of all of our sports and normal day-to-day running around and putting that to the side and spending time with family and taking care of others and not just ourselves.
And, one thing that I'll point out is, our Sunday school, our Tower of Life group, our kids that have been working with us for the last several weeks on this topic of the fruit of the Spirit. Just think about the fact that we were talking about these topics long before any of our worlds changed, and long before anything we thought might have happened has now happened. So, in a way, we have been helping ourselves and preparing ourselves to be able to call on these seeds that are planted within us this whole time, not knowing that this outcome of the way that the world has changed right now was coming. So it really was God working with us and letting us know that we had some good material that we were trying to instill and work with you. And to me, that was one thing that really opened my eyes, was when we were asked to put this together. Hey, we're already working on something that's doing really well right now. And it happened several months ago when we started this curriculum, this topic, and we're able to plug it into the things that are happening today. And that's God working in our lives long before we need to call on those things. He's there. He's preparing us for the things that we need to have to be able to find love and joy and peace in our lives right now, even though it is a little scary, a little hectic. But he had us working those months ago to instill these practices and have you know that these seeds are within you and they just need to be called upon. So to me, that was something truly amazing.
And Jason's right. God has prepared us for this. He always makes sure that we have what we need. We just don't always know it. Sometimes it's really hard to see it, but we have to have that trust. And it is something that we have been talking about now for about 2 months. You guys are probably getting a little bored with the subject, to be honest. You're probably thinking, why aren't we doing something else yet? But I think this is why. Because this is a time when we really need to remember that we have those seeds. And you guys have them. I've seen you guys all use them. Believe it or not, even a set of siblings that we have in our class, I've I've seen you guys be nice to each other. I know you thought I wasn't looking, but I was. You can show all of these things to one another, to people that you don't know. Be an example. Against these things, there is no law. That's what Galatians tells us. That means that nobody takes those away from you because God has given them to you. So call on God. Talk to your parents. We're here for you guys. And we may not always have the answers. To be honest, a lot of the time, we don't have the answers. So we have to kind of talk to Him to better prepare ourselves to talk to you and to deal with what we're seeing too. So we know it's scary. We know there are changes coming. We know that a lot of you have had major changes come across in the last 2 weeks. But know that these fruits that you have, boy, we need them now more than ever, and you all know how to call on them, and you know how to use them. Don't be afraid to get in the quiet with God. Know that He wants to talk to you. He wants to talk to you. He wants to hear from you. He's never too busy. So get in the quiet. Talk to Him. Remember your fruit. Remember the fruit of our Spirit.
So, next time you feel like you're overwhelmed and that you can't find the right emotion or words to express how you're feeling, take that minute to just reflect and talk to God. And I guarantee you He will show you that one of these seeds that's planted within you is going to help see you through whatever it is that's happening. He's there, and He's listening. And just know until we can all be together again, that we're all in this together. We are all part of one church that is surrounding one another and helping one another and constantly in communication and letting everybody else know that we're thinking of them.
One thing we do really well as Christians, we come together when we need to come together. And we show support and we share our faith at the most important times. And I know you guys are doing that. I know you can do it. Just keep on. Keep on following His plan and understanding that it's there. Know that He has control and His hand is with us in everything that we do. But what I want to challenge you to do this week, I want you to think of those fruits. And I want you to, even if it's just one that you pick, I hope it's more, I want you to find a way to maybe go the extra mile, whether it be your patience. If you don't get maybe the electronics time that you want, or you don't get to watch the movie that you want to watch because there's something else happening and you may have to wait. Maybe it's dinner, maybe dinner's running late, or maybe, you're home and you're used to having lunch at a certain time and it's past that time. Be patient. Just be patient. Sit back and take a deep breath. Pray. If you need to pray to find that patience to get you through so that you're not upset and you can exercise your self-control, just talk to God. Pray. Maybe it's kindness. If you have a neighbor who shouldn't be going out to the store and maybe they need something, you may not be able to talk to them face to face, and that's okay, but you can certainly take something over and set it on their porch. Or if you can talk to someone face to face, a lot of people are feeling very lonely right now. Take a minute and talk to someone. Call grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins. Talk to them. Let them know that you're there. Those are just a couple of things we can do, and I know you guys can do it. I know you can.
Yep. So like I said, once just be able to put yourself out there and be able to accept the fact that these things are within you and they will help you through anything that you need. So until we can see you again.
And we can't wait.
Take care. God bless. And we love you.
We love you guys.